wanted to tell you all a story that happened earlier this week that kind of fits in with what we're talking about. Today, we're going to talk about finding your homeschool tribe. And it can be hard for a lot of people, especially if you're new to homeschooling and you're not quite sure, hey, Mary Beth, what to do. So I want to tell you a quick story that happened to us on Monday during the eclipse that kind of made me see how each of us puts homeschooling in a different perspective. So we went out on the bass boat to a spring here in Florida to watch the eclipse, which was really cool. But while we were there, a storm came up and we had to cross a really big lake to get back to the boat ramp. And I'll tell you the ending first. When we get back to the boat ramp, my youngest son, Grant, he comes up to me and he says, "Now, Mommy, if you share this story on the website or on Facebook, don't be dramatic." And I started to laugh and I thought, "What do you mean?" And he said, "It wasn't dramatic. It was just so totally awesome fun. It wasn't dramatic." And it was then when I realized we all had a different perspective on what just had transpired out on the lake. So what happened was, as we were watching the eclipse, a storm came. We waited it out in the spring, and then we needed to cross the lake to get back to the boat ramp. It's a huge lake. And when we got out there, there's up to 5-foot swells going on out there in the lake. And it was very, very rough. Now, the bass boat that we had really just has 3 little seats, that you sit down. I was in the middle. Curtis, my husband, was driving. Grayson, my oldest, was on the other side. And Grant is sitting on the platform because the platform is for fishing. It's not meant to carry people. It's a fishing boat. So he's sitting on the platform. And as we start crossing this huge lake, the waves were unbelievable. As I said, about 5-foot swells, and water is coming over the boat and we're taking on water. And as we're going really fast. And I pretty much have my eyes closed because I can't see anything, even though I have sunglasses on. And water is just pouring all over me and sand coming off the deck of the boat. And Curtis, I notice, he doesn't have his sunglasses. He forgot them. And he is concentrating on staying in the channel. He's focused on the waves. He's watching where they're coming, that he hits the waves just right. Now, Grayson, sitting on my left, was worried about the markers. "Daddy, there's a white marker on your right. Daddy, there's a red buoy on your left." The white markers indicated that our depth was only about 2 feet. The red markers were keeping us in the channel. So Grayson was completely focused on where we are from left to right. Curtis is focused on straight ahead, getting us through the storm. And Grant is just laughing every time we go airborne and he comes down and hits the bow of the boat. He thinks it's hilarious. Now, me on the other hand, I am white knuckling Grayson on one side and Curtis on the other. And I'm just praying, "Lord, just save the children. If the boat flips over, just save the children," the whole time. And I couldn't see anything and it was frightening. It was frightening to me. So we get back and we kind of have a discussion about, what we had to do to get back. And Grant was like, "That was just so awesome. And it was so fun." And he didn't see the danger. And Curtis was just focused again on staying in the channel, watching the waves and keeping the boat from flipping. Grayson is worried about the periphery. And I was just petrified. So I realized all 4 of us had the same experience that afternoon, but each of us saw it in a completely different way. And that's how homeschooling can be, is each of us see it in a different way, even inside our own home. Or when we're talking with someone about curriculum and they're so excited about it and it's awesome and amazing, when you give it a try, it might not be that way for you. And that's okay. So I want you to keep in mind on perspective inside your home and outside your home and everyone's point of view. And it can really enrich your days when you can sit down as a family and talk about whatever just transpired, whether you're bouncing airborne on waves on the lake or doing math at the dining room table. Everyone has a different perspective. So that leads me to what we're talking about today. Again, my name is Holly with the Giles Frontier, and joining me today is my friend Mary Beth, and she is a writer over at Road School Moms. She does podcasts at Road School Moms, but she also has a website called Road Trip Teacher. And she's going to drop that link for you to go and visit her. She's a good friend of mine. And what state are you in right now, Mary Beth? She is a full-time RVer. and she traveled to Illinois to see the eclipse. And I know she's staying somewhere around there, but she is my fabulous helper. Can't see where she's dropping links for me. So today we're talking about finding your homeschool tribe. Hi, Kristen. Hi, Cindy. So when we started homeschooling about 10 years ago, I was fortunate that my neighbor across the street, she had a girl that was the same age as Grayson, and we began homeschooling kindergarten together. And it was wonderful to have someone to navigate the plethora of curriculum and choices and different things. And we both kind of had the same ideals that we shared. We loved the outdoors and we loved to play and we loved to read aloud. So our experience early on together was a good one. As the years went by, we both decided that it was time to kind of branch out and see what other people are doing. And so we thought maybe we should try a co-op. We wanted to meet other moms. We really wanted to meet other moms and other kids and have a different experience that we were having. So we jumped into a co-op. So number one, I don't think we did our research very well, but we jumped into a co-op when the kids were in second grade. And our idea was we really wanted to meet moms and make some connections and for the kids to make new friends. Well, this particular co-op was really heavy on core subjects and everyone had to sit at a desk and it was very school oriented. And it wasn't the kind of thing that we were looking for, and our kids didn't thrive there very well. And we never really got to make friends because we were really busy running around, helping everyone who was teaching, cleaning up messes and organizing everyone else, that we never got a chance to connect with other moms. So for us, that we didn't go back the second term because it wasn't the type of co-op that we were looking for. So I wanted to share with you a couple ideas if you're looking at co-ops, things to consider while you're making your choice, and do your research, because I think we didn't do that in advance. Another thing that happened is it was on a Monday that we had co-op. So we were all exhausted by the time we got home. And our kids were cranky, my children were cranky. And on Tuesday, our day just never started off right because everyone was very tired. And so that didn't help our week to get going either. And I was tired too because I put a lot of time and energy into the things that I did. So a couple of things that you want to think about is, does the day away from home help your family or does it hinder it? And what I mean by that is if you are looking for that extra time away, if you're looking for those different things, think about how it's going to affect the rest of your week. If you're looking for core classes to share with other families, it's a great opportunity to do so. And there's lots of co-ops that do that. Maybe you're just looking for fun, extracurricular, elective type activities for the kids to enjoy. And there's a lot of choices out there for that as well. Another thing is to look for your style of homeschooling. And that's really important because we didn't check that. And so that really wasn't our style that we were looking for. But, now we got into it and we were obligated to continue on our journey there. So what is your style? Is it relaxed? Is it classical? Is it eclectic? Are you looking for those core classes? Or are you looking for a fun extra activity for the kids to really enjoy being around some other families? Next is, what is your time commitment? Look at your week already. What kind of time commitment do you have to give to a co-op? Because that's very important. Generally, co-ops, you need to be involved. You need to spend some time there. You need to help out in whatever capacity that might be. That's a time commitment for you. So you need to think about that and how it will affect the rest of your week. And next, what about your kids? Are you doing the co-op because you're looking for mommy friends, if you're looking for time around other adults, or are your kids really craving time with other children? And each child is different. So those are some key things to consider when you're trying to find your own homeschool tribe, where you fit in and where you belong. So those are some ideas for a co-op. Next, after we got out of that co-op, we decided, okay, well, let's try park days. The kids are still young enough. They love to go to the park, so let's try park days. So we found some, now I'm dating myself now, it was Yahoo groups that met up on park days. And we tried a couple and we ended up finding people who really were the farthest from our homeschool ideals as we could find. And sometimes, to be honest, we felt like we were on candid camera in the situations that we ended up in. because again, we were so eager to find those connections. We didn't pay attention to different things. We didn't maybe read all the way through emails and invitations. And so we just kept plugging along till we found a group that we fit in. So don't give up. Park days are a great time that's when you can get to know moms a little bit. When you have younger kids, they can play on a playground or maybe have an organized game. Park days can be an excellent solution if you're looking for people to commune with, to be friends with, to kind of share the joy and frustration of homeschooling. So a couple of things about park days is, what are the ages of the children that will attend the park day that you're interested in? Is there a good mix of boys and girls and a variety of ages that kids can meet different age groups and get along? And does that group support your values? Do they support your style of homeschooling and your parenting style? Because all of those are important factors when you're hanging out with other families. And so you need to consider those as well. And if you haven't found a park day and that's something you really want to do, I encourage you, just be brave. Just be brave and do it. Start it yourself. And one easy way to do that would be to pick a park and go there every Thursday at 9 a.m. Every Thursday. Spend an hour there with your kids. And odds are, at some point, another homeschooling family is going to show up. I promise. And that's just an easy way to kind of bridge the gap. You're in an open environment. It's not a closed-in environment. It's easy to talk to people at a park. It's easy for kids to kind of be free to mingle together and intertwine and enjoy each other on the playground. So be brave if you haven't found a good park day group. Sometimes as kids get older, I know in our group, we have a new group of younger kids coming in, but us older moms with older kids, they don't want to go to the swing set anymore. So we've kind of moved on out of the park day stage. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is support groups. And there's a couple people on here. Cindy Floyd, she is in Near Him, which is what I'm a part of, been a part of for years. Support groups, I think, are very, very important. And when I say support groups, I mean people in person, face to face. It's great to have a community online that you can see people and kind of talk about your days and talk about different curriculums. But there's nothing that replaces face-to-face contact with women who are going through the same thing. It's also important to find a support group where you have moms who have kids of similar age as you, that, yeah, you can share what's going on and, oh, my kid did this, oh, me too, and that kind of thing. But what's really important also is to have women who have already been there and gone through it and have a different perspective. And they can kind of be mentors to you, to guide you through your journey that you're on right now. And sometimes those women have a perspective that you don't, because they've been there and they've done that. Some have already gone to the other side and they've graduated their children, and they have awesome advice. They have awesome suggestions, things that they learned along the way, even mistakes that they made that they're more than willing to share with you. So a support group is very important for you to find in your area. And last time I talked about looking for your state organization. Look them up online, and generally they can help you find a support group in your area. And a support group could be 50 women, it could be two. It could be two women. Sometimes in your season of life, having one person to share that time with can get you through a lot of days in homeschooling. Now, I know a support group, going to meetings sometimes can be intimidating. I know when I first started going, I was very shy, and it's like, you walk into a room full of women and you feel like you did on the first day of school, or if you moved and you come into school in the middle of the year and you walk in, everyone's staring at you. And that's kind of how you feel sometimes when you walk into a room full of women that you don't know. And I would sit in the back. I would sneak in the back so that no one would see me. And I would sneak out when the meeting was done before anybody could talk to me. And it took me a long time to really kind of let down my guard and be able to make friends and share that time. And I'm so glad I did, because over the years, I've met some women who are amazing, who have been mentors, who have walked alongside me with their same age children. And those might be people that I don't get to see very often, but when I do, I know there's a connection. And that's really what you're looking for, is a connection with a group of women or families who are walking your same walk, who you can ask questions if you need to. And so a support group is really important on your journey in homeschooling. And for some people, like for us, finding a tribe was really hard. And when I say tribe, you're looking for people who have your same values. If you're looking for a same religious affiliation, if that's important to you, you want to look for that when you're looking for a support group. Do they have a specific topic that they talk about, or do they encompass a lot of things in homeschooling? Do they have different topics that they talk about? And also, will your spouse support that? Will your spouse support you in leaving home with the kids so that you can go and get refreshment? Because refreshment for yourself is very important. Does everyone agree? Hi, Beth Ann. How are you? Hi, Kimberly. So refreshment for moms is very important. It doesn't matter if you're homeschooling or not. Refreshment for moms is so important to build our courage, to gain our strength, because if we don't have it, we can't give it to our children or to our husbands. So that's really, really important. And what I learned along the way is having just even one person that you can count on, and that may change during different seasons of your life. You may have people, that you're tight with for 1 year, and then you might, kind of separate for a little while. And sometimes that happens when you're going through different seasons in homeschooling and in parenting, and that's okay. Sometimes you might have a big group of women that you see and hang out with, or that you can call on and do things with. And one season it might be one, and that's okay too, because you never know what's coming down the line and what kind of support that you need. But usually God has it. He's got it all planned out for you. And that one person might be who you need to get you through a lot of seasons of motherhood. So for me, my neighbor was that person for me. Her and I could go back and forth. We had similar ideas. Our children were similar ages. We had some wonderful memory building experiences together with our children. And we're in a different season. Her children are in school, and so we don't really see each other that much. But when we do, those are just some treasured memories that we get to talk about and share. And our children are still friends, which is a wonderful experience. So if you haven't found your homeschool tribe, and after you've tried all the things that I told you to try, my advice is to be brave. Be brave and give it a try. Go out there, join in coffee chats or online, find a group online that you can connect with. And invariably, you'll probably find somebody in your area or events that you could go to and socialize with other moms. And, I know we're adults and we get older, but we're still kind of like kids when we're a little shy when it comes to just stepping out and really searching for what it is that we're looking for. The other thing I wanted to share with you is that it's my belief, after all of the experiences that we've had, is that the truth is you need to find a tribe for you and not your kids first. You need to find someone for you first. That is super important, because the truth is, like I said, if you don't have support and you don't have a foundation, your homeschooling might wobble this way and wobble that way, and you're not quite sure what to do. So you need to find support for yourself first. And in my opinion, that is where you need to start. Kids, they can be friends with a rock. I mean, they are completely content generally right by themselves. If they have siblings, they're their best friends. Yes, we have sibling rivalry and fights and that kind of thing. But generally, children can be quite content just by themselves and with family members. I think as a society, we push our kids to be socialized and all of those things, but that isn't necessarily the case with all kids. A family unit can be content right by themselves. So I want you to look for a tribe for you first. And when you find that tribe, what happens is the kid friendships and all those things kind of come along in the process. And you're going to be a little bit happier, a little bit stronger in your foundation, because you've got those connections with moms that you have found first. And then it kind of comes along for your kids along the way. So I did write about this. I have a post on the blog called Finding Your Homeschool Tribe. And Mary Beth is going to drop that link for you guys if you want to read the rest. And I do have my points in there that I talked about park days and about co-ops and about support groups. And I am a proponent of all of those things. The truth is, our family, we found out we aren't co-op people. And that's okay. I thought we were, and I kept trying, and we're just not. We're not co-op people. So I understand that about us, and that changes how we do our homeschooling. So I connect through a support group, and that gives me a strength and foundation to then bring home and be good for my kids. So finding out for yourself what your family is about, where you fit in and where you connect is super, super important. And let's see, what else did I want to tell you? If you haven't found your tribe, going for a walk, just taking time for yourself is really important as well. Go for a walk, read a book. I know if you have littles, it's really hard to do that. I'm Melissa, she's with us. She's got littles at home and they're always in her lap and reading books, and that's wonderful. But you need time for yourself, whether it's 5 minutes. As I said before, the bathroom generally was the only place I could get 5 minutes apiece. You know how they run their fingers under the door? They still do that. Why do they do that at 11 and 14? I don't know. So finding time for yourself is very, very important. I wanted to share with you that our store is now open on thegilesfrontier.com. We have been working really hard, and we have our store open, and we have lots of goodies in there that we haven't had before, and we want to share them with you. And Mary Beth is going to give you a link if you want to go check it out and see what we've got going on in there, and just lots of more information and inspiration for you. And Mary Beth, did she tell us where she's at right now? Mary Beth, did you tell us where you are? What state are you in? I can't see. Mary Beth travels around the country in her RV, and she's put together some amazing unit guides, like study guides for different national parks, which goes awesome with our book, Blaze New Trails. And so if you're interested in Mary Beth, her link is she is roadtripteacher.com, and she has some great study guides for different national parks in different places around the country. And that's just a really fun little unit studies and different things that it's kind of cool because she travels around and puts those together while she's there. And it's neat that a homeschool family does that and puts those together for you. Kind of gives you a connection to them as well. And Grant wanted me to share his vocabulary words. I already forgot what they were last week, but they're on the Facebook Live from last week, because fishing is it around here. Fishing is everything. We were fishing during our dramatic boat trip on Monday. And then the boy said, Mom, none of this stuff ever happens when you're not with us in the boat. It's every time you go with us, something happens. So for 22 years, I've thought that if we ask you to go boating, you got to think twice, because something always happens. Doesn't matter if we're in a kayak, in a bass boat, whatever we're in, there's a dramatic experience. And I thought it's just a Giles thing, but apparently it's a Holly thing. And so I thought, well, that might be a good opportunity to stay home for fishing trips. Because I don't know if you've been on a fishing trip lately, but you sit in the hot sun for a long time with a pole with one of these on the end. You see that? Yeah. This is what I was talking about last week that I wash in the washing machine all the time. And Grant's words for this week, because every week he wants me to tell you a Giles vocabulary word that has to do with fishing. And so this week it's whopper plopper and river bug. That's this week's fishing lure tips for the day. Whopper plopper and river bug. I had said last week how I have to redo laundry because these get in there, and there's all different kinds. There's about 300 of these bags around my house full of lures. And people often ask me, I get comments on, how do you decorate your house? This is my kitchen. And normally I love to be outside because we're an outside family, love to be outside. Mary Beth's spelling those for you. And it's just too hot here in Florida. It's really hot. And my porch is too hot. So I'm in my kitchen, which I clean for you because normally it's piled up with dishes. I clean for you, and this is my space. We don't decorate here. I will maybe in about 20 years. I'll pull my stuff out of the garage and decorate. but I just wanted to give you an idea. When you see us on the road, we have a beautiful booth because I get to decorate it because we're not at home. Because if you come to my house, this is what we have. Yeah. This is what we have as decorations. My boys decorate. And so I kind of just gave up. You know, I love my boys and I'm going to miss this, right? I'm going to miss this when they're gone. So this might be on the dining room table or on the couch. And lures hang from my dining room lamp. Lures with hooks on them, because you never know when you need to grab a lure and head out back and go fishing, right? So that's how we decorate here at the Giles Frontier. But I have my cute chicken stuff in here in my kitchen, and it's all nice and clean today. It won't be in a couple hours when the boys get home. But that's real. That's how we live here. It's Camp Giles. That's what it is. We live in Camp Giles. Oh, yeah, just got Landon's attention. Y'all come on down where we live, and y'all, this is what we have. So come on, Landon, you're invited. Thank you, guys. It is so fun to come on here every week. And Grant wanted to be here, but they had the opportunity to go somewhere because he wants to show you his lures next time. So Landon, we'll show you some lures next time, and we'll find something else to show you besides the alligator head. And so I just wanted to share another little bit of inspiration with you. Finding your tribe is really important. Key, find it for yourself. Mama, find it for yourself first, and then find it for the rest of your family. Get a good, strong foundation. Get some women you can count on, someone in your situation, and a mentor who's been there before. And again, thank you guys so much for joining us. Head on over to our store. We're excited. Grayson, as I wrote in our newsletter, Grant packages the stuff for us, and Grayson's on a first name basis with Joe down at the post office. He sees us coming every day. It's a lot of fun. And like I said, we are doing a learning lifestyle revival here every day. Lifestyle learning is where it's at. The boys are now entrepreneurs, they're businessmen helping us run this business, and it's all thanks to everyone we meet across the country. And it's so fun to watch how homeschooling has really changed our life. And again, visit Mary Beth. She is such a good friend to come on and drop links for me and make sure I'm on the right page. Because if you weren't here last week, I was on the wrong Facebook page having a nice conversation with some other people. But I'm on the right page today, Mary Beth. So thanks for joining me, you guys. Have a great week. And I will plan on seeing you here next Thursday at 3 o'clock. We'll probably change our time pretty soon because our book club's starting in a couple weeks, and we're going to be meeting together on Thursdays and Fridays. So we might change our time, but I'll see you then. And some of you I'm going to see tonight at NHE. I'm speaking. If any of you are in Orlando area, I'm speaking at Northland tonight. So come join us and get a little bit more homeschool inspiration. See you later.